Well, good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you on your, Tuesday afternoon. And we are watching some mighty big thunderstorms rumbling across East Alabama, moving across Coosa County and portions of southern Talladega, about to move into Clay County and Tallapoosa County. We'll zoom out just a bit and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We do have a special weather statement that is in effect until went into effect at 4:41. It's in effect until 5:30 this afternoon. I'll just read the text of this to you. A strong thunderstorm will impact southwestern Talladega, east central Chilton, northwestern Tallapoosa, Coosa, and southwestern Clay County through about 5:30 this afternoon. At 4:40 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm along a line extending from near Childersburg to near Stewartville. To Higgins Ferry Park. Movement was to the east at 25 miles per hour. The main threat with this particular storm is wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. So again, that is a special weather statement, and you can clearly see it on the radar this afternoon in extreme southeastern Talladega, extreme southwestern Clay County. That's going to be just to the south and east of Sylacauga, and then there's a little bit of a break in the action, and then we see it flare up again down in Coosa County, from just south of Weguffka down to Hyssop, I should say, and just south of 280, just to the southwest of Kellyton, and that stretches all the way down into the southern sections of Coosa County, maybe just a little bit of it still in Chilton County. This is moving off to the east this afternoon and will continue to affect central and southern Clay, and most likely will move directly over Alexander City. This is not a severe thunderstorm at the moment, and it is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So places like Goodwater, Kellyton, Hyssop, Alexander City, Kelly's Crossroads, Our Town, and if the storm holds together, eventually Eagle Creek and Dadeville will have to pay attention to this storm over the next hour or so. Again, we're below severe limits, but we certainly do have a lot of rain, a lot of thunder and lightning within this storm. There could be some very small pockets of hail, and that would be pea size or smaller most likely. So that's what we're dealing with this afternoon. You know what the deal is with these summertime thunderstorms. They can be rather strong, and we're seeing that happen this afternoon in East Alabama. We have one small cell trying to get going down in southeastern Randolph, extreme northeastern Chambers County, the same area that got a pretty good-sized thunderstorm yesterday, from Standing Rock back up to about Bacon Level, right there in that area just to the east of 431 over to the Georgia state line. So we have some heavy rainfall located there. And then over in Troup County, we've got some showers taking place just to the west or east of Wares Cross, just to the west of 85. To the northeast of downtown LaGrange. And then as we look down in Harris County, we've got some bigger storms down here from Pine Mountain down to Hamilton and then over to Shiloh. Some big thunderstorms in extreme southeastern Troup and northern sections of Harris County. Zoom back out and kind of give you the big look here. We expect things to really get going down around the Columbus area in the next hour or so. We could see some really big storms down there. We're already seeing some blow up just to the southwest of Columbus. So we've got a special or severe weather alert coming in now to the Weather Center, and we will be looking to see once we get the text of that. I see it populating there on the screen, so let me go over and take a look at that. I believe that's going to be a special weather statement for Tallapoosa County. And that's what it is. Special weather statement issued at 5:12. It expires at 6 p.m. This is going to be for portions of Tallapoosa County. And let me get the text of that up. We'll read it for you. At 5:12 p.m., a strong thunderstorm will impact northeastern Elmore, central Tallapoosa, and southeastern Coosa County through 6 p.m. At 5:12 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm over Nicksburg or near Equality, moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. A wind gust of up to 50 miles per hour will be likely with this storm. So let's go in a little bit closer, and we'll show you the area that the Weather Service has now added to the special weather statement. It's going to be Alexander City and south, and then southeast down to Dadeville, still waters included. And this is going to be pretty much the entire Lake Martin area. So if you're at Wind Creek State Park, Our Town, you're down there at Kalijah, over towards Still Waters, Bama Park, all of you folks on Lake Martin, if you're out on the water, now is the time to head to the dock, because this storm will be sliding off to the east, maybe a little bit south of due east. As we put this in motion, we'll kind of show you the direction this storm is moving in. You can see there that it is moving to the east, and then you have the southern end of this that's also going to be moving over. So it's going to catch from about Alexander City all the way down to the dam down there on Lake Martin. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're anywhere on Lake Martin, you go ahead and go to your safe place. You don't, even though this is not severe, you don't want to be out there on the water with something like this going on. So we have a new weather statement coming in now, and I think that's going to be a replacement of the previous special weather statement that was in place. Let's see. No, it's not. So we'll watch and see if we get something else populating here on the screen here in just a second. I would think it's probably going to be an extension of the advisory that's already out there. We'll see. Yeah, I believe that's what it's going to be. But at any rate, if you're in Tallapoosa County from Alexander City all the way down to the south end of Lake Martin, if you're in southern Clay County, not sure this makes it up to the Ashland area. I think it probably stays south of Ashland unless we get some growth to the north. I think the bulk of what's in Clay County is going to affect the southern sections of Clay. So Ashland, I'm not sure you see any of this. We'll just kind of have to watch and see if it fills in to the north. Bigger thunderstorms actually back off to the west over in West Alabama from Bibb County over there at Brent, and that stretches down to Marion, Alabama, and then to a point just between Selma and Demopolis. Big thunderstorm over there that will also be moving off to the east. Some showers trying to get going there at Billingsley in Autauga County as well. So that's kind of an update on where we're at this afternoon. Again, we don't have anything severe out there, but some of these thunderstorms, these summertime heat of the afternoon storms, can be quite strong. There is always that danger of a microburst where these storms grow really big, really fast, and then they collapse because the structure just can't hold up that much precipitation. And then when all that column of water falls to the ground, then the air that's under that column of water has to go somewhere. So it blows out from under the thunderstorm, and that's what's called a microburst, and that can cause damage sometimes. So that's the biggest danger this afternoon. Of course, lightning is always dangerous, and with this storm moving directly over Lake Martin, I'm particularly concerned about that. If you're out there on the water, if you know anyone that's down there camping or would possibly be out on the water, Be sure you call them on their cell phone. Say, hey, go to Facebook and look up Dr. Don's weather. He's telling everybody to get off the lake. Got a pretty good-sized thunderstorm coming that way with a lot of lightning involved in it. So especially the north end of the lake. You're going to want to make sure that you get off of that water. So let me roll over here to the chat room right quick and see if there are any particular questions. I see a question already about, Rachel is joining the What About Club this afternoon. Good to see you, Rachel. What about Tuskegee and Beauregard? Well, if I'm not talking about your town, then, yeah, there's absolutely nothing going on. Right now, Tuskegee, you see there's no storms down here. And then Beauregard, same thing. Now, if you're in Beauregard, you may be seeing some dark clouds to your south, and you may be hearing some thunder. It's even conceivable you're seeing some lightning. But this is down south of Lee County, and this is most likely going to continue moving off to the east, right into Columbus, or maybe just a little bit south of Columbus. Don't think that will affect Beauregard. At the moment, there's nothing threatening Tuskegee or Beauregard. That could change. We still have a couple of hours of daylight left, and these afternoon thunderstorms can blow up pretty quick. Still seeing some really heavy stuff there in northern Harris County, from Pine Mountain down to Hamilton and then off to the east north of Waverly Hall. So dangerous storm on... I believe that is going to be right there at Hamilton in Harris County. That's moving off to the east as well. Lynette, you've got some clouds in the area, and you have a shower between Valley and Lynette. Most of it is now to the south or to the east of I-85 and moving away from you. So at the moment, I don't see anything really threatening in the Valley Lynette area. And we've got a storm trying to get going there around Oak Bowery in extreme southern Chambers County, which may stretch down into northern Lee as well. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate the kind words. Getting real dark in the Salem area near Beauregard. Thank you, Sabrina. That's that cloud that's south of you. Let me go down here and take you in a little bit closer. All right, so Beauregard there's Beauregard, and what you're seeing is down here along Highway 80, in about the intersection of Highway 80 and 169. And that's going to be off to the east or northeast of Hurtsboro. And that storm will be moving toward the Columbus area and the southern suburbs of Columbus. That should not affect you up there around Salem and up there at Beauregard. I think that will slip just to the south of you. There's Salem, and there's Beauregard, and the storm is down here, and it's moving to the right of the screen. Give me just a second to get the telestrator out, and we'll show you what I'm talking about. Hey, Sandy in the What About Club, Roanoke. Hang on a second, Sandy. We'll go up there and talk about Roanoke. But all this stuff is moving in this general direction, and you guys up there at Salem are way up here to the top of the screen. Beauregard's over here under the Southern Union logo, so you can see this is going to be moving away from you. Now, that's just this one particular cell. There could be others that develop in the next couple of hours that could affect you in Salem and Beauregard. Let's look at the Roanoke. Right now, you're okay, Roanoke. You've got some showers out there on the east side from, I don't know, probably Gillum Road, east, right there along Highway 22. And then it stretches down into the southeastern corner of the county. You got some rain out there on Gladney Mill Road, County Road 16, County Road 75, maybe County Road 686, County Road 684, back over toward Rock Mills. But none of this heavy. We have no special weather statements or anything like that for Randolph County. So Roanoke's in good shape. Now, we'll have to watch and see what happens to this cluster that's in southern Clay. Does it hold together? Does it intensify? Does it grow stronger? Grow bigger? It will move off to the east. So if it holds together, and I'll just rock the frames back and forth so you can kind of get an idea on the direction these storms are moving. If it does hold together, you can see that it will eventually make it over into Randolph. I got to tell you, that last scan or two from right there to right there, it looks like at least the northern end of this may be flattening out a little bit. So it may be in the process of weakening. Hey, Susan, I'll send you your $20. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, Susan. LaGrange, you probably got a pretty good show going on over there in Troup County. You're probably hearing a good bit of thunder and maybe even seeing some lightning off to your south and east. But LaGrange proper is in good shape right now. The really big, heavy stuff is down in northern Harris County. And again, it is also moving off to the east. LaGrange is sitting right up here, so this should not affect you. This stuff down here in northern Harris will be moving away from you. Hey, Glenn Morgan, Richie Burke. Yeah, Susan, you probably got full-blown sunshine up there. There is a little shower just south of Hogansville. It's also moving away from you. And then back off to your northwest, that little bitty cell that's sitting in southeastern Randolph and northeastern Chambers will likely move in your direction, so you should get some showers out of this. But at least at the moment, that's not even a thunderstorm. That's just a shower. Right now, we'll see if it intensifies over time. Auburn, other than a great football season this upcoming year, I don't see anything weather-wise in your immediate future down here in Auburn. But again, understand it's that time of year where storms could pop at any moment, anywhere. These storms this afternoon are heat of the day type pop-up thunderstorms, not really being driven by a cold front. That's coming on Thursday. We will slowly increase our chances of rain each day this week. We're going to be hot and wet for the rest of the week. Mostly afternoon stuff this afternoon and again tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we will have a cold front move through, and that will act as a focusing mechanism, which may give us much better widespread coverage of rain and maybe even some thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon on Thursday. But this afternoon, they're hit and miss. Go boil you some spaghetti noodles and throw them on the wall and see where they stick. That's pretty much what we're looking at with showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. It's no way to forecast exactly where the storms are going to be. Once they form, then we can kind of give you an idea of how strong they are and which direction they're moving in. We really can't even tell you how long they're going to last. The science is just not that good yet. A lot better than we used to be, but we're still not that good. It's summertime in the South. This is what we do. Occasionally, some of these storms could and do go severe, but for the most part, Most of the summertime afternoon thunderstorms are handled with special weather statements from the National Weather Service, and that's what we've been seeing this afternoon. And really the only area I'm really concerned about there's actually two or three right now. Up there in northern Harris County near Pine Mountain, got a pretty good cell coming into Columbus. It's got some lightning in it. Very heavy thunderstorm now to the northwest of Selma or northeast of Demopolis. That's going to get up into southern Bibb County and eventually end up in Chilton County. And if it holds together long enough, it could affect Coosa and Tallapoosa, but that would be a couple of hours down the road. We'll be losing the heat of the day by that time, so this storm will probably start fading before it makes it that far. So right now, really the only area of concern in East Alabama in our particular coverage area is going to be this cell that's moving into Tallapoosa County. And I'm more concerned about the southern end of it than I am the northern end of it. The southern end of this storm is stronger than what we're seeing up on the north end. This part seems to be fading, and the southern part of this storm seems to be the dominant section of this cell as it moves to the east. And this storm is moving in this general direction. So this means that you folks down here on Lake Martin, I think you're going to catch the brunt of this storm right in this area where I've just put the circle on the screen. That's where the heaviest part of this is going to move. And you'll notice most of the lightning is in this area. And we're looking at 42 lightning strikes in the last 3 minutes. So that's pretty decent lightning. And all of that is going to move in this general direction. So that's going to move over Alexander City. It's going to move over our town. It's going to get this at least the central and northern sections of Lake Martin. Probably will make it over Dadeville. And the most concerning thing here is that lightning output and very heavy rainfall. 63 is a complete washout right now. You get up here on 280, and at the moment, it's a washout from just south of Alexander City all the way through Kellyton. But as this storm moves off to the east, that's going to encompass all of 280, even down toward Dadeville and Waverly eventually. So this is a pretty strong summertime thunderstorm. No tornadic stuff here. We're not talking about tornadoes or anything like that. We're just talking about a very strong thunderstorm that'll be affecting the Lake Martin area over the course of the next hour or so. I'll zoom back out so you can see the overall big picture, and you can see where it is raining and where it is not. We look at the entire state of Alabama right there, and you can see that we have scattered thunderstorms from I-20 over Jackson, Mississippi, down toward Hattiesburg. We have some activity up in extreme northeast Alabama. And then basically south of the I-20 corridor, a couple of different pockets of showers and thunderstorms. Big storms rumbling at this hour down around Monroeville. Back over toward Greenville, Evergreen, along I-65. And then down in the Wiregrass area, big thunderstorm near Enterprise, Alabama, at this hour, actually just north of Dothan, northeast of Enterprise, near Newville, to the southwest of Abbeville, and just north of the Ross-Clark Circle there in Dothan. It's just now moving over 431 and 231. So both 431 and 231 getting their fair share of rain this afternoon down there in the Wiregrass. This will move on into Georgia. It will affect places like Blakely. If it holds together, maybe over toward Albany in another hour or so. North, I think it'll stay north of Donaldsonville. Just rain for the Eufaula area between Troy and Eufaula. And then again, right there at Columbus, they got rush hour going on down there at Columbus, and so I-185 about to be a mess. You've got Highway 27, which comes up out of Casita, Georgia, up into Columbus. Right there where 431, Highway 185, all I-185 all come together. That's going to be a mess. Lots of rain right there. So that's what we're looking at this afternoon. Again, nothing severe. We have no severe weather warnings or watches anywhere across Alabama or Georgia at this hour. But we do have special weather statements for central and southern Tallapoosa, extreme southeastern Coosa, across the East Alabama area. We're going to continue to watch this for you this afternoon, and if things were to change, if we were to pick up some warnings, then we certainly will come back and continue our coverage with you here on Dr. Don's Weather. Invite you to help us out every chance you get. We depend on your donations, and we depend on your support to keep us streaming here on Dr. Don's Weather. And there are just all kind of multiple different ways for you to support us here in the chat room. If you will just scroll up or down, or up, I should say, if you're at the bottom of the chat room, and you'll find links there. Support Dr. Don's Weather through PayPal. You can support Dr. Don's Weather through the Cash App. You can support us through Venmo. You can support us through Stream Elements. I mean, we have got you covered if you would like to support us. Of course, you can also send us those Facebook stars. And I understand things are tight right now from the financial standpoint. Trust me, I do. I mean, you do one trip to the grocery store and you understand that. So if you're in a situation where you can't help us financially, there is something you can do that's just as important, and that's help us on social media. You help us on Facebook by liking us every single day. Like Dr. Don's Weather. Share us with your friends. Ask them to share with their friends. Follow us. Go over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather. Out of everything you can do to help us today, that's probably the most important. Go to YouTube and subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather. If you don't have a YouTube account, no worries, folks. It's free. It only takes you about 30 seconds to create an account. And it requires nothing more than what you had to do to set up a Facebook account. And there's no obligations whatsoever. Just set up that account and then search for Dr. Don's Weather and hit that subscribe button. And then off to the right, you'll see a notification bell. Be sure you click that notification bell. That way you get a push notification when we go live. You don't always get that on Facebook. That's why I'm such a huge advocate of our followers on Facebook to go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel and click the bell. Now, you can watch us on Facebook all day long if that's what you prefer. You'll get the notification from our YouTube channel, which is a push notification. You're going to get it. If you've got your notifications turned on and you click that little bell, you're going to get notified when we go live. Facebook, not so much. If you don't interact with us on a regular basis, it may be hours or even days before you get notified that we're live. So that's why it's very important to go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe, click that little bell. So I'm going to step aside, and we're going to watch this in the studio. And like I said, if things were to change, were to see something that we're concerned about, then we'll be right back, and we'll continue with our coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. If I don't see you again this afternoon or this evening, I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your primetime forecast on Dr. Don's Weather. Y'all have a good evening. Well, never mind. I'm back. Just like that, the National Weather Service has now issued a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to be for Tallapoosa County of east central Alabama. So the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Tallapoosa County and east central Alabama until 6:15 p.m., At 5:37 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over eastern Lake Martin or near Dadeville, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is 60 mile per hour wind gust. Locations in the path of this storm include Alexander City, Dadeville, Camp Hill, Jackson's Gap, Waverly, Eastern Lake Martin, Northern Lake Martin, Wind Creek State Park, Stillwater Resort, Western Lake Martin, Southern Lake Martin, Maxwell Gunner Recreation Area, Blue Creek Marina, and Dare Park. Now let me kind of zoom in. Let me bring the radar current. Sometimes the algorithm that picks out the names of the towns in the path of the storm, sometimes it's not exactly correct. And I think we have that case going on here. Now, it's raining heavily in Alexander City, but you can clearly see the polygon is south of Alex City. So from the southeastern suburbs of Alexander City down to the Elmore County, Tallapoosa County line, that's the backside of this warning, and it does stretch all the way out to the Chambers County line. So our town, Jackson Gap, Dadeville, Camp Hill, maybe Waverly, if the storm holds together, would be the area that's in the path of the severe part of this storm. Let me kind of show you what I'm talking about when I say the severe part of the storm. I'm going to do some doodling here. I'm going to draw some lines. And this is the part of the storm that's kind of bowing out. And this is where that wind threat is coming from, and this is why they issued the warning. It's for the potentially 60 mile per hour winds that are going to be running right along the outer edge of the front of this storm. Now, if you're down here in Dadeville and you're looking back into this storm, it's pretty scary looking. You see this big, huge anvil cloud. You may have some rolling shelf clouds right there on the front edge of this, and it looks like the world's about to come to an end. But this is a classic summertime afternoon thunderstorm. I promise you, there's, at the moment, and it doesn't appear to even be structured in such a way, there's no tornadic activity in this storm. But look, 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts can cause damage. So, I always say this: if you go under a severe thunderstorm warning, you should treat it as though you have at least an EF0 tornado. I mean, just the distinction between it being a thunderstorm and a tornado is nothing. 60, 70 mile per hour winds versus the EF0. It's just two different words: thunderstorm, tornado. That's the only difference between the two. So that 60 to 70 mile per hour wind can cause a lot of damage. Certainly strong enough to bring down trees. Trees fall on houses and mobile homes. What happens? You have a lot of damage. So it doesn't take a tornado to cause the same amount of damage as this type of thunderstorm can cause. That's why you need to make sure you know where your safe place is and practice that in situations like this, just to take the least course of regret. Be on the safe side. And so that's what we're looking at. They've just issued a severe thunderstorm warning, basically for central and southern Tallapoosa County, all the way over to the Chambers County and the extreme northwestern Lee County line. And it's primarily going to be for this area where you see the bowing. That's where the heaviest wind is. And right there along 280. Let me clear that up, and then let's go in a little bit closer here. And out there on 280, let's go to County Road 40, Midway Circle out there on 280. This is to the southeast of Alexander City. That's where the heaviest, Peckerwood Road, that's where the absolute heaviest of this is taking place. You see where we have the blues and the purples. That's an indication that we may have some small hail taking place there. And typically, wherever the hail is the strongest part of this type of storm. There's a couple of other things I do want to look at right quick. Let me get that back out where you can see the thunderstorm warning polygon. And I'm going to run over here and take a look at the base velocity, and let's look at the winds. We've got some 52, 58, 59. So right in this area is where I would expect the heaviest wind to be right now. And then we've got some strong wind back on 63 just south of our town. Now, the strongest winds are coming across the northern part of Lake Martin, just to the west of 49, which is just south of Dadeville. So this gust front here that's moving to the east, traveling probably pretty quick, is about to move into the Dadeville area. So it's about to get very windy right here in Dadeville. Now, understand, this is up in the, 1, 2, 3,000 foot levels of the atmosphere. This is not the wind at the ground, but all it takes is very heavy rainfall to push this wind to the ground. So where you see those 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, you could very easily get 45, 50 mile per hour wind gust on the ground. And that's all it takes. 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gust is all it takes to bring down trees. So again, the strongest wind is going to be in the area where you see the light pink, which would be those two areas. And it's moving in this direction. Oh, that was horrible. Don't make fun of my drawing here. But you see where those two areas, that's where the heaviest wind is, and it's moving off to the east. Let me get that off the screen. Let me go back and use the circles. They look much better. There you go. And we're moving in this direction and this direction. So Dadeville's going to get some of this wind if it holds together. Camp Hill down the road will get some of it. The wind may be pretty rough down there at Stillwaters as well. Sharon, you're way up here in Alexander City. So the strongest winds are well south of you, and they're moving away from you. So I think you're fine up here in Alex City. Again, if you live inside that triangle, and folks, this is why it's so important to understand what a map looks like and where your town is on a map. You should be able to glance at what I'm showing on the screen and know within an instant whether or not you're involved in this severe thunderstorm warning or not. And if you can't do that, if you don't know how to do that, then I highly encourage you to spend some time learning how to read a map. I'm fully aware it's not taught in school much anymore, and that's a crying shame, because even with technology the way it is, and the way technology will evolve in time, we're still going to use maps. It's going to happen. I don't see anything that's going to completely replace maps. So it's important you understand how to pick your town out on a map. And it's relatively easy to learn. So I encourage you to get on Google. If you're in Alabama, Google Alabama state map. If you're in Georgia, Google Georgia state map, regardless of where you're watching us from this evening, anywhere across the country or the world. If you can't look at a map and pick your town out instantly, then you need to spend some time learning how to read a map. I mean, it's very easy to do that now. Just go to Google and punch in go to Google Maps and then search for the name of your town. The map's going to go right straight to it. Then zoom out and look at what's around it. use the major cities as reference points. Look at Columbus. Where's Roanoke in relation to Columbus? Where's Roanoke in relation to Birmingham? Because weather comes from the west to the east most of the time, not all the time. Where's Roanoke in relation to Montgomery? And then you kind of start looking at it. You'll start to learn where your town is. And then all you have to do is glance at a map and be able to tell if your town is under a warning or not. I mean, I'll zoom back out. There's the state of Alabama, and I know, of course, I'm a weather guy, but I know where Roanoke, Alabama is without the name even being on the map. I know it's over here just north of I-85. I know it's north of 85 and south of I-20. I know that's I-85 from Montgomery to Atlanta, and I know that's I-20 from Atlanta to Birmingham. So I know that this orange polygon is a severe thunderstorm warning. I also know that's not Roanoke, Alabama, without the names even on the map. I know it's placed too far south, so at a glance, I can look at this and say, okay, I don't have anything to worry about if I'm in Roanoke. That's southeast of me. Probably could come real close telling you which county that covers, if I didn't already know, by just glancing at the map without even going down to county level. And you can do that too. It's very simple to do, but that's part of taking personal responsibility and learning things on your own and understanding how weather works and how to read a map. These two boxes that are on your screen, that blue flashing box was a special weather statement. That's the first, when a storm gets strong, that's the first product that the Weather Service puts out there to get your attention. Special weather statement. Hey, this is stronger than your average afternoon thunderstorm, but it's not severe. And then the storm intensified and went severe, so they issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Well, that is the orange box. The orange polygon is the severe thunderstorm warning. That's meaning that if you live inside of this orange polygon, there's a pretty good chance you're going to feel the effects of this storm over the next 30 minutes or so. I mean, it looks to me that the heaviest part of this is up on the north end and then right along the leading edge of the storm, about to move into Dadeville. That's where the strongest part of this storm is at the moment. That's where the wind gust is. And that's what they're warning for. They're warning for wind gusts 60-plus miles per hour and 3/4 inch or larger hail. That's the hail up there on the north end of the storm. That's pretty much going to stay north of 280. But the wind, that 60-mile-per-hour wind, could be anywhere along the leading edge of the storm as it moves off to the east or southeast. Hey, Miss Cecilia. Hey, Amber. You're welcome, Sharon. Greenville, Georgia. Greenville, Georgia. Yeah, you look good right now. I mean, we've got a little small shower there near Hogansville that's moving off to the east, but I don't see anything of any great concern. The only warning we have out there this afternoon, and I'm talking about across the entire states of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, the only warning is in Tallapoosa County, Alabama. And that would be to the southeast of Alexander City, down to about Dadeville. You're welcome, Unshackled. bear with me. I'm going to pull the National Weather Service. Well, no, I'm not. I'll do it this way. I'm going to go take a look at the National Weather Service chat room and see what kind of chatter we have going on this afternoon about these storms. Okay, I don't see anything. This is a chat room that is for emergency managers and responders and media. And I don't see any. There are a lot of times when we have these type storms, we'll get reports, ground truth reports of what's actually taking place, and I don't see any information on this storm at the moment. But one of the meteorologists is in the process of typing something here, so let's see what it is. Again, if you're just joining us, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect now for Tallapoosa County, Alabama, primarily the Dadeville area. Jackson Gap, Dadeville. And the Weather Service is continuing. We just got an update. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 6:15 p.m. for central Tallapoosa County. At 5:54, a severe thunderstorm was located over Dadeville, moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm, 60 mile per hour wind gust, which could cause damage to roofs, siding, and trees. And if you're seeing this scrolling on your television screen at home, they go on to show the locations that may be impacted. And, you know, the danger with that is, again, a lot of this stuff is done by artificial intelligence. And sometimes they pull towns into because it's in the polygon or close to or touches the polygon. Sometimes they list communities that really won't be affected. My point is they just issued a statement continuing the severe thunderstorm warning, and they're still showing Alexander City as being affected by the severe part of the thunderstorm. And you can clearly look at radar and tell that's not the case. I mean, the polygon doesn't even go up into Alexander City. It does out there on the extreme southern and southeastern side, but when I say Alexander City, I'm talking about downtown Alexander City and the suburbs. And you can see the polygon's clearly down here around Dadeville. And there's no question where the strongest part of the storm is. The strongest part of this thunderstorm is right here. And it is moving in this direction, which is away from Alexander City. So Alexander City should not still be listed as one of the locations that will be impacted by this storm. And those are little things that we really have to clean up. I mean, with modern technology the way it is now, I mean, there's just no reason to continue to do things like that, because then people who are not weather savvy in Alexander City see that scrolling on their screen, and they think they still have a storm about to move in, and that's just not the case. It is storming still in Alexander City, but the severe part has passed Alex City. It's now over Jackson Gap and Dadeville. Hey, Lane, thank you. I love me some Pine Mountain, too. We typically do the Pine Mountain thing once a year, and that's normally right around Christmas. You know, we go to Fantasy and Lights, so you have to go through Pine Mountain, and have a sister-in-law that lives just south of Pine Mountain. So we come over there and hang with you guys just about every year. Hey, Lisa in Columbus, Georgia. Thank you, Unshackled. So if you're just joining us, again, we do have, we were about to end our coverage, and then the National Weather Service decided to pull a trigger on a severe thunderstorm warning. And we have one going now for central Tallapoosa County. That stretches all the way down to the eastern side of Lake Martin and then over to the Chambers County line near Camp Hill, Waverly. That's the only significant storm really in the area. This storm that's coming into the Chilton County, western portions of Chilton County, really looked like it was going to be the severe storm of the day if we were going to have one, but it really has lost a good bit of its intensity. And then we look back over in West Georgia, and we have a special weather statement. This is going to be out there east of Columbus. And this is going to be for Chattahoochee, Marion, Talbot, Muskogee County. Strong thunderstorm will impact portions of northwestern Marion, northeastern Muskogee, northeastern Chattahoochee, and southwestern Talbot counties through 7:30 Eastern. Strong thunderstorm over Box Springs, or 12 miles southwest of Talbotton, moving to the east at 10 miles per hour. So that's a slow-moving storm. So you folks down here around Geneva, Georgia, from Talbotton down to Geneva, you're going to get a tremendous amount of rain out of this because this storm is barely moving. And even though we don't have a special weather statement on the storm over Columbus, I'm going to pretty much tell you that's going to be the same situation. You got copious amounts of rain now on I-185 from the 280 interchange all the way up through Bibb City, and really all the way up to the north bypass on the north side of Columbus. 280, a complete washout now. Really from Fort Benning all the way around the Phoenix City side, and then over around up north of Bibb City. Just copious amounts of rain falling in downtown Columbus right now. Back in Alabama, just scattered showers from Montgomery all the way to Eufaula. The storm that we were looking at earlier that came out of Enterprise that was over north of Dothan no longer looks intense. That's pretty much flattened out. And then we look back over in southwest Alabama from Monroeville all the way out to the interstate out at I-65 and just south of Greenville. A strong thunderstorm taking place there. And we do have a special weather statement that is in effect for Monroe and Conecuh counties of southwest Alabama. Strong thunderstorm will impact central Monroe and central Conecuh County through 6:15 p.m. Doppler radar is tracking a strong thunderstorm near Peterman, or 7 miles northeast of Monroeville, moving to the southeast at 10 miles per hour. The main threat with that storm is winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. And then the main reason we are here this afternoon is this thunderstorm in central and southern Tallapoosa County, from Eagle Creek down 49 to Dadeville, and then back to the southwest over extreme eastern Lake Martin, just north of Bama Park. And we'll rock it back and forth, and you can kind of see the direction that this is moving. And I really think if the Weather Service was considering pushing this on into Chambers, we probably would have gotten at least the southwest corner of Chambers on that last update, and we did not. So kind of gives me the thought process that maybe they don't extend this any further to the east. right, so now we're beginning to see some reports of trees down. 5900 block of State Highway 49 south. There is a tree blocking one lane. Actually, that's going to be near Dadeville. So this tree is going to be down in the Dadeville area. And that's the only report I see in the chat room so far. Well, Elaine, I can assure you, remember, I said I have a sister-in-law that lives just south of you. And Harris County is one of my counties. I claim Harris County is one of my coverage counties. So keep watching us in Harris County. I can guarantee you if we have any life-threatening weather in Harris County, you're going to hear about it here on Dr. Don's Weather. We have Carroll, Hurd, Troop, Harris, and I throw Merriweather and Coweta in there for good measure in West Georgia. So we will cover significant weather for you right there at Pine Mountain, no doubt about it. I'm just probing this thing to see what the winds look like, and they're not as strong as they were. We're looking at, on average, I think the strongest winds we're looking at here probably in the 35 mile per hour range. There's a 36. And that's in the upper levels of the atmosphere. At the ground, you got to have extremely heavy rainfall to push that to the ground. And, you maybe, if you're looking at 36 mile per hour at that elevation, then you're probably looking at 20 to 25, maybe 30 mile per hour gust at the surface. So, certainly don't see the winds we were seeing 15, 20 minutes ago with this. And, that plus the fact that they did not add at least part of Chambers in that last update tells me that they're probably going to handle this with a special weather statement moving forward instead of a severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm looking. I see no further updates from the Weather Service either. Will this be out of Tallapoosa by 6:15? Absolutely not. 6:06 now. 10 minutes from now? No. This is a slow mover. I mean, it's taken forever for this to get down in the Dadeville area. So, no, this won't be gone in another 10 minutes. This is probably going to be another 30 minutes or so before it completely gets out of Tallapoosa. All right, it may take longer than that. I mean, I'll go back 1 hour. All right, that's where the storm was at 4:43. That's where it's at now. That's really not even an hour. Yeah, it is. Hour and, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes? So it's taken an hour and 25 minutes to travel from the Coosa County, Tallapoosa County line to a point just east of Dadeville. So you can do the math. It's going to take a minute to get this out of there. The severe parts out of Alexander City, yes. You still have some light rain. Now, probably another 20 or 30 minutes, Alex City should start to see much improved weather. But as far as it being out of the county, at least another 30, if not 45 minutes to an hour, just based on the length of time it's taken it to travel half of the county width already. No, this is not going to touch Ranburne. This is way down in Tallapoosa County, moving to the east. Ranburne is way up here in Cleburne County. Your storm is moving in that direction, and Ranburne is right up here. So this is moving into Georgia. It's not even moving in your direction. And assuming everything else is moving to the east, and it is, if you look back to the west, all the way to Birmingham, there's absolutely nothing out there. So unless something develops, I'm going to say Ranburne's in the clear for the rest of the afternoon. Hey, great. Thank you, William, for that report. William's telling us it's calming down in Dadeville. That's a good sign. Amber, so do we think Chambers will be okay? Yeah, I think you're going to be fine. I mean, this looks like it is in a weakening mode. And again, I think if they were going to extend this warning into Chambers, they would have done it on the last update. Okay, just got notification from the National Weather Service. The severe thunderstorm warning for central Tallapoosa County will expire at 6:15. The storm, which prompted the warning, has weakened below severe limits. Yay me, I called it. And no longer poses an immediate threat to life or property. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds are still possible with this thunderstorm. So my intuition, years of experience, if you will, was correct. This storm is in a weakening mode, and they will allow this warning to expire in about 4 minutes. And they're not going to reissue a warning. If they issue anything at all on this, and they didn't indicate they were going to in that last update, but if they decide to, it'll just be a special weather statement. And this will probably move. Buxton's probably going to catch the extreme northern end of this as it slides on into Chambers County from Waverly, maybe up to about Frog Eye or just south of Frog Eye, places like 5 Points, Lafayette, Casita. You're going to get some rain out of this, Pennon, but this will be well below severe limits. And now, the stronger storms are going to be over in Georgia from Thomaston down to Columbus. We have some strong thunderstorms over in Georgia this afternoon. So with that information from the National Weather Service, we are going to once again put our live coverage to bed. We will continue to watch this, though, and if things were to change, if we were to have storms ramp back up, I don't think they will. As we lose the heat of the day, these storms will fade away. That's the way this works. And that's exactly what I expect to happen this afternoon. But we'll keep an eye on it for you. If something were to change, then we'll come right back and we will we'll continue with our coverage. I thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Once again, don't forget to support us if you can. We greatly appreciate it. Any monetary support you can give us goes a long way to keep us on the air so that we can continue to bring this type of coverage to you. We have all kinds of options scrolling there in the chat room. You can always go to Dr. Don's Weather on Facebook or YouTube or our website at drdonwx.com and find links to all of our support avenues, ways that you can support us. And we encourage you to consider doing that as often as you can. It helps us keep giving you the weather coverage you deserve for East Alabama and West Georgia. You're not going to get it otherwise. But if you can't do that, and I completely understand with the mess the economy's in right now, if you can't do that, there's one thing you can do, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and that is support us on social media. Do all the social stuff. Be the social savvy person. And tell everybody you know, everybody in the whole wide world, it's at your fingertips, about Dr. Don's Weather. Share us with your friends. Ask them to share with their friends. The more numbers we get, the more followers we get, the more subscribers we get over on YouTube. That helps us. It gets us at different levels, and that lets some of the national advertisers pay attention to us. And that's huge. And that really does keep us going here on Dr. Don's Weather. So multiple ways you can help us. Support us financially if you can. If you can't do that, then not going to cost you a dime. Take you just a minute or two. Like us every chance you get. I mean, you got to interact with us as often as you possibly can. Share us with your friends. Go to YouTube, subscribe to us, and don't forget to click that little bell. That little bell is what gets you the notification when we go live to cover severe weather for East Alabama and West Georgia. And those of you who've been following us for years know this. If there's life-threatening weather out there within a reasonable distance of even outside of East Alabama and West Georgia, I'm going to cover it, as long as there's nothing happening right here at home. So, you know, we got you covered pretty much anywhere across the southeastern United States during times of severe weather. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll be back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your primetime forecast. For those of you who don't typically watch our daily forecast, don't forget, every single day we put your forecast out there by 6 a.m. every morning. 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. So you'll know what to expect throughout the day. Be sure you watch that as well. And then subscribe to us so you'll know we're live when we do live coverage. So I'm fixing to go eat a piece of pizza, pop some popcorn. There's some really good television on tonight. Yeah. I don't know how we could top last night in Milwaukee, but we'll see what they have up their sleeve tonight. Good stuff. Go watch them. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning on Dr. Don's Weather. Good night, folks.